I hear a red dot.
Boom. And we're live.
We are live.
Okay, here we go, people. It's Monday, January something, or I'm not exactly sure what the date is, but we are here from our living room, talking.
Dining room.
In bathrooms, in bathrobes.
You're on fire today.
Ready to roll! Ready to roll!
Oh, just call him.
Let's do this. Let's see if I can call him. Steven Johnson is going to be great.
I'm Graham.
I'm Ashkahn. And today
I think I'm just going to let you run. Yeah, just take it away.
Listen, Steven Johnson is an old family friend. And he, of the Float family, of course, what I'm referring to.
Yep.
And we've known Steven for, 8-9 years, something like that, back from our humble beginnings.
That is actually true. That one was true.
I'm going to pepper little bits of truth in
just so they never know when to trust you.
And he floated at our float center, and then he was like, whoa, floating's cool. And we had him come to the float conference, and then we were like, whoa, Steven's cool. And then he's spoken at every single float conference.
That's true. The only person other than us, right?
Glenn Perry? I think
he's spoken
at every float conference.
The Perrys have spoken at every float conference, yeah. Yeah, so, he's keeping some pretty good company.
Steven's actually, I think, maybe talked more than we have. Because one year he had 2 talks. So, he's I think, officially the reigning conference talk champion of all time. And I'm excited to talk to him.
Yeah, and if you've ever just gotten a chance to hang out with Steven Johnson, separate from him being on stage, it is very similar to him being on stage and hanging out with him. So yeah, this should be a fun call. Perhaps a little sillier when he's not behind the mic, but
let's do
that's
this.
hardly a criticism,
Here we go. Here we go.
Hello?
Hello,
hey,
Steven.
Steven.
Hey.
Excellent.
Yeah, how are you doing, my friend?
Twisted gentleman.
Yeah, how are you doing over there?
I'm good. Everything's okay, It's a beautiful day today. It's kind of variations on a theme.
Yeah, that is a little bit what it feels like.
Yeah, and you're up in Bellingham still, right? Or are you somewhere else?
I am still in Bellingham, although an alert to you, I will be coming down soon to check some places out in Portland.
Oh.
Check some places out, huh?
Yeah, you mean like check them out for places to kind of conduct nefarious dealings while you're in town, or places to permanently reside?
Places to actually move to.
Okay.
Oh, that's exciting.
Right. So you said you're going to be our roommate. You're moving into our house?
Yeah, we have
what we're hearing?
We have a room opening up in late June, so.
Actually, you said what?
We have a room in our house opening up. If you want to just move in with us.
Oh, for God's sake, that would drive me crazy.
I don't know. The universe wouldn't be able to do. It would get too raucous. I'm not sure.
Well, it have to expand. Consciousness would have to expand exponentially to take that in. However, there is a couple places. I'm not sure exactly where your house is, but I think about maybe just a couple, 3-4 blocks away.
Oh.
Wow. Wait, but you don't know where our house is? You just suspect
so it could be
the universe.
Anywhere it could be 3 to 4 blocks away from our house. It's an unknown location.
You are kind of cosmic, that's true.
We're pretty close to Float On though, so as long as you kind of center around the float shop, then not the float shop, that's the other center.
One of them is just before Hawthorne turns into 50th, I think. It makes a curve.
That is
right. That's where we live, basically.
Yeah. That's what I thought. Oh, God.
That would be amazing. So you saw our posting for a room then.
Wow, well that sounds excellent. I'm very excited.
Yeah, we'll see how it goes, but I'm looking.
So when did you say you're actually going to try to cruise down here?
I'm going to be down. I think I'm planning on. I know everything's closed, but and social distancing is in effect. But I'm planning on coming down just kind of for a field trip and to check a couple places out June 1st.
Oh,
very soon.
Yeah, that's coming up.
Yeah,
Why the move?
Oh,
You missed us. It's okay to say that you missed us. I mean, that's...
I like it up here fine, but I do kind of miss it there. I miss Portland. I've always loved Portland.
Yeah.
I kind of miss it. I really miss the ocean, and you're relatively close there. Where from here, you have to essentially go to the Atlantic.
Cool. Yeah, and I know you've been talking about wanting kind of a change of scenery for a while, so that's just cool for us that you chose Portland, you know?
But what I'm kind of, it's kind of time to settle in for what I'm calling, kind of half humorously, the last creative push.
And what is the last creative push entail other than moving to Portland?
Well, we don't have enough time for that.
No, I got time. We're good. Yeah. And we have a stuffed animal with your face on it too. If you're not watching live, so the audience is highly entertained. Yeah.
I can see it. It looks pretty pensive.
Yeah, I thought that maybe you'd want to have a pensive. Like this was just what I was intuiting this morning, that you were going to kind of want to drive the conversation towards,
Well,
emotionally.
It's interesting because I got up and I did my normal morning practice, and I sat down and I realized I checked my phone or something, and I realized, oh my God, it's Monday. I thought it was Sunday.
Yeah, so we're lucky to have you here, is what you're saying.
Yeah, I might be dying. Who knows? Although I don't go anywhere, but nonetheless, yeah.
So I assume you haven't been able to get in anywhere to float in a while, right? Like your own floating practice must be kind of on hold.
It's been a long time. You know what an interesting thing is? I meditate daily and have for far longer than I would like to admit. And it's
Aeons, yeah.
The thing that first hooked me in the float tank was, I did the same kind of normal breath and kind of stuff, getting ready while you're sitting. And then it just was kind of like someone lit a fire or something. It was like the deep, if you're lucky, the deep meditative experience happened within like 5 minutes. So I was that was kind of like, wow, cool. So I told a lot of my meditation friends about it, and they all thought they didn't want a shortcut to a good meditative experience. Because they tried it and they all had the same experience. So coming back, my meditations these days are more and more beginning to kind of be like my float experiences. They're, as you know, we talked about this, unlike Jake in this, is that my experiences are very visual, sometimes quasi-hallucinogenic in nature. So even my meditations are becoming that. So I do miss the float tank deeply, but who knows?
And if you just splash a little salt in your eyes in the middle of your meditation, you should be there.
I'm going to try to do that, but usually that's when it's flicking up from the margarita.
Yeah, Margarita Meditation Mondays is long been a fad where I live as well.
Part of my morning practice, right?
It's important to have those, yeah.
I wish Graham and I both have habitually had very low visuals from our float experiences.
Yeah.
Like I have so few visual experiences in the float tank that sometimes I'll even like have sort of daydream like experiences where I'm like going through some sort of scenario or story, but it's black. Like everything, even in my dream world, is dark, and I'm in a dark black room. Like it's that bad of not having visuals in my case.
Well, actually, that may say a lot about you.
In a good way, or
that dark black place.
All right, so I should stop floating. Like I might be unleashing something that nobody wants to see.
Oh man, yeah. For me, it's interesting actually. The like. Well, okay, I will. So for me, I rarely have strong visuals inside the float tank. I've had a handful of very visual floats, and sometimes I'll even have just like a period of maybe like 3 to 5 minutes where they're a little visual, but certainly not like like you and Jake. But one weird thing that started happening is like before I go to sleep, when I hit that kind of theta state, now I start having visuals just in my own bed, you know, like going off to sleep. It's like, I don't know why my brain doesn't recognize the float tank as a place where it wants to do that, but something about having floated, it's like my own, just kind of like pre-sleep and going into dream mode visuals have gotten really intense. So any theories on that, Stephen?
I love going to sleep, man, because I dream awesome all the time. I think maybe that's, and hopefully, because this would be kind of a grassroots power, that the flow experience is beginning to bleed into your normal life, and hopefully it will continue to expand through the prism of you into the culture as a whole.
Darkness. Darkness everywhere.
The dark prism of the soul.
The voice from the abyss.
Yeah.
Oh, you guys, have you seen Justin's TED Talk thing? I'm sure you have.
Yeah, it's great.
You know, it was so interesting. I thought I was actually on a hike, and somebody called, and then somehow it came up, and I watched it when I was walking on a trail. But it was like, it left me with three things. Number one, his huge brain. Number two, his passion, which I think in the float industry can be translated as compassion, and his not insignificant elan. I thought he was superb, and I like his emphasis, or maybe re-emphasis, on the word disconnect. I thought that was really interesting.
Yeah, it was really well polished. Like it felt like a very legitimate, like nice talk. I think it's a great just like introduction and a really nice kind of explanation of the kind of fundamental basis of what he's been finding in his research. Like, I think it's great. I was really also impressed with it.
Yeah, we've long said we're just like so lucky to have a scientist, the lead researcher in our field, who is also just an excellent public speaker. There's so many like predominant scientists who cannot do what Justin did and stand up there and give a talk that's understandable to the general public, you know? Like, we just really lucked out. And I literally just emailed him this morning saying that exact same thing. I'm like, man, we're so lucky to have you. Like, you're such a good speaker. So, yeah, I truly believe it.
But you know, he does have that ability to speak. He has that style, certainly. But, you know, I think even beyond that is Justin and people like Syed as well, and Bucks as well, and some of the other scientists and researchers in the field, they all seem to be big brains with big hearts.
Yeah.
You know, that's a huge thing. And I think that's relatively rare. And who knows whether they were born that way, developed that way, or somehow the switch got flipped because they all came to the Float Conference and incorporated it into their work via the Float experience.
Yeah, it's like the Venn diagram between float enthusiast and researcher. It's like there's a really great place in the middle there.
Yeah, that's very true. That's a great example, Greg.
Yeah. I think it's also, I mean, the thing that I also just am like so happy about after all these years is that someone can even go up and give a talk and make claims like that now confidently. You know, like there just is the science now that's been published that we can go on and present and actually just say like, hey, this is not just like a bunch of experiences people are having or you know, things that we're presuming.
And it's great to be entertained, but it's great when that entertainment has like a true grounding. Absolutely. Yeah.
Nice. And Juliet posted that up in the comments there for anyone watching too, if they want to find Justin's talk, if they haven't already seen it in the notes.
So how are you guys doing with, you know, all the uncertainty and oddness?
We kind of like live for uncertainty, you know, like Graham and I are very well adapted to chaos. So I think at least in terms of mental health, we've been doing we've been doing all right throughout this.
Yeah, for sure. Like I've always said, if you can learn how to thrive in total chaos and uncertainty, then, you know, when things are going according to plan, like icing on the cake, you know. But like if there's one thing that's going to be around with us forever, it's chaos, you know. So no, mentally I think we've been doing pretty good.
Yeah, it's been a lot of work. Like there's a lot to have to like figure out and sort with all this in terms of the float center. You know, like dealing with large federal programs and dealing with decisions about closing and reopening and protocols for when we reopen and staffing and, you know, there's just kind of like all of a sudden a million decisions to make and a bunch of stuff to figure out, and that's been keeping us pretty busy.
Like as you well know, Stephen, there's a lot of joy in work that takes a lot of thought and kind of mental effort going into it. This is not that kind of work. This is the kind of work that takes a lot of thought and mental effort that is absolutely not enjoyable. So yeah, it's been very long and very tiring days. But
reading through like SVA guidance and trying to like interpret their language and the vast impact it'll have on our lives. Like
yeah. So no, it's been pretty grueling, I guess is the right word. But we've really been trying to like actually enjoy the time that we do have off in the nice weather, and been getting some gardening in. Yeah, it has been. I mean, it's nice that we live in a house together and we have other cool roommates as well. Been picking up juggling again.
Yeah, it kind of feels like I have plenty of like social interaction and entertainment. We have like more stuff to do in our house in terms of fun activities than I feel like we've like ever had.
Well, you know, one thing I've always thought about you guys is you do know how to have fun regardless. Probably even in the drudgery, somehow you're finding kernels of craziness and fun.
Yeah, that's pretty accurate. Yeah. What about you, Stephen? What have you been doing to keep yourself sane up there in Bellingham?
I can give you the long version, but I'll give you the short version.
Give us the medium version. Do some embellishment. The audience wants Stephen embellishment. That's what they're here for.
The medium version. Actually, first of all, it's like, you know, it's outside of the generalized angst and tragedy that is in the air, you know, and my life isn't significantly different. I'm relatively hermetic anyway. I do miss, of course, going to the gym, going out, eating, and doing some other things. But generally, it's not that much different. But my days, like I started with, variations on the theme, I get up and do my morning practice, which takes a while. And then I read, write, read some more, take a walk, watch stuff at night. That's essentially it.
Yeah, it sounds rough. I'll be honest.
I'm sorry. It's essentially pretty much what it is. Luckily, the weather's been good. The trails and the streets are relatively empty, particularly the trails, which is even better. But you know, it's great to just pile up the books and dive in. And, you know, it's kind of been cool in a way.
What's the like density of houses around where you live? Are you like out in the?
I thought you were gonna ask what the density of books he's reading is. Like, how dense are these things? You know, like, is this generally accessible words?
Just Sanskrit and.
I live on the edge of downtown Bellingham in an apartment building.
Okay, so do you have access to?
I can see the water. The Bellingham Bay, and the other direction I can see the Arboretum, which is a big hill with trails, and the university. And behind me, I'm looking south towards the islands and the water. Behind me, 1 block is downtown.
Oh, okay.
So I'm just kind of, I'm pretty close to stuff. Downtown has been empty. So that's where I am for now, which is great. It's nice. It's comfortable.
Yeah.
That's cool. So what book do you have on your bedside table or in your hands right now? Like what's one of the things you're reading? Because I'm sure you have multiple.
You really want to know?
Yeah, tell me. Yeah, unleash it. How dense is it?
Well, I'm sitting at my desk now in the study, which is kind of like a slightly enlarged closet. And these are the books. These are the books I'm reading right now.
You pray about
Okay, the Pauli-Jung conjecture and its impact today. Carl Jung's book on Pauli, the physicist and the psychiatrist. Another one is by one of my favorite writers, who's a political philosopher, Facing the Planetary, Entangled Humanism and the Poetics of Swarming.
Of swarming?
Swarming.
The poetics of swarming?
Yeah. Politics. Swarming of politics.
Oh, politics, not poetics.
Not poetry. A book of poetry called The Laughter of the Sphinx by my favorite poet, and a couple novels. That's what I'm reading right now.
Wait,
So just some light reading. Just a couple.
Michael Palmer is your favorite poet?
No. Yeah, Michael Palmer is one of my favorite poets.
Yeah. Nice. I don't think I've read anything by him. I just looked that up really quick on Google so that I could sound smart while I was talking to you.
Oh, Palmer, of course.
Yes, I know Laughter of the Sphinx very well.
The poet from San Francisco.
Excellent. No, that's cool. I actually still have. When I visit people who I feel like share my love of books and are kind of bibliophiles, I take what I call like bookshelfies. It's like selfies but of bookshelves, you know. And I have a couple of pictures of your book, and I'll go and look at that picture and just pick one of the books off your shelf and then look it up.
Oh, excellent. That's quite wise of you, I would think.
Yeah.
By the way, give my very best to Catherine, artist extraordinaire, and also to Juliet, please, the irreplaceable Juliet.
Okay.
Yeah, she's watching live right now, so she can hear you. She heard that, and actually, Catherine is watching live as well from behind the camera.
She's right here with us. So
Yeah, feel free to say hi if you want to.
Oh, hi! I try to be inaudible during these.
She's our one-person live studio audience.
It's good because we get to see like all the times when our jokes just really tank. It's important.
And how often do your jokes just really tank?
Oh, I mean,
Most of the time, yeah.
I guess like any comedian, right?
Any bad comedian like us, yeah. Oh man. Well, oh, whoa, got a little feedback there. Let's go to the comments. I see people have been posting a bunch of things. Jocelyn's here, Jordan's here, Jules was here. See, Greg Griffin, shout out to Greg Griffin.
Very lasting impact on our live stream style.
Hello, everybody.
Oh, nice. Juliet just posted up Laughter of the Sphinx, the book, in case people want to get it, and the Facing the Planetary, Entangled Humanism and the Politics of Swarming.
Can you give us like a 30-second explanation on what entangled humanism and the politics of swarming is?
You want mine?
Yeah.
Well, I've mentioned this author in some of my talks before, and he's the probably most popular book is called The World is Becoming. He's a kind of political philosopher. What really grabbed me was he talks a lot about imbricated systems and imbricated sensibilities, and kind of how really that whole interconnectedness that we talk about sometimes flippantly is really essentially the ground of our experience. And in The World of Becoming, he goes into that more philosophically. And this book, a couple books later, is that same theory kind of taken into the environmental movement, and he calls it entangled humanism, meaning how we are so deeply entangled in nature and the environment. And not only that, but the nature and the environment of our culture and world culture, that how all these things interrelate, how they become tangled, and how they loosen. And this book is his big magnus about the environment, and in relation to that political, philosophical ground. And it's really quite good. He's not easy going, but he's really smart, and it's really fun to read.
Pretty dense. Cool. No, that was a good 30-second description. Yeah. Wait, what? So what's the? But the okay. So the swarming part then is just that like interconnectedness. It's like pushing forward.
It's like a force that's pulling us together. Like,
well, it's kind of. It's I have to think about that one a little more.
we haven't gotten to the swarming chapter yet.
Swarming. I don't want to. Let me think about that. I'll get back to you later.
Sometime.
We are swarming, either internally or externally. So.
Oh man, excellent. Yeah, Juliet's really on top of this. She's just like posting up Amazon links to all the books you're recommending. So, yeah, we can make a Stephen Johnson book club. I'd be into it. If anyone else wants a Stephen Johnson book club, send an email to graham@floathq.com or just shoot me a message on Facebook and we'll make this happen. You don't need to be involved, Stephen. We're just going to mainly mirror you and read the things that you're also reading behind your back.
And discuss it, doing impersonations of you.
You just let me know and I'll make a list. It's like, it's so fun. It's so fun. Yeah.
Have you ever read any Robert Anton Wilson?
Of course I have. Yeah, a long time ago.
I'm just reading him for the first time, but man, does he have a lot of John Lilly references. It's crazy. It's like every other page there's a reference to John Lilly in there.
He's really interesting. He's an interesting writer.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah, just curious. Oh, hey, we got one acceptor of the Stephen Johnson book club already, which is Juliet. Juliet is in, so there we go.
All right.
And Jules giving a very nice shout out to Catherine.
Oh, nice.
For doing awesome work creating stuff for the float industry.
Yeah. Oh, thanks, Jules. Yeah, we'll pass that on to Catherine.
Thank you.
Passed on, yeah. Awesome, guys. Well, I guess any last words or just anything you wanted to chat about with the live audience here? I think it looks like we have around 2.6 million live right now.
No, it's lovely to hear from you guys. I must admit, I was somewhat distraught upon hearing of the RISE conference not happening.
Yeah, for sure.
I was even more distraught in hearing about the passing of our beloved Tim Worsham.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't hear about that.
And I'm hoping
Yeah.
to hear soon what's going to be happening in relation to Milwaukee.
Yeah, I think we'll be. We're still hoping to put on a live event if possible, and I think we'll just play it by ear to see if that's possible or not as things get closer.
Yeah, but at least, like, at the kind of worst case scenario, we're still planning on doing kind of a digital conference and having speakers and, still kind of facilitating gathering as much as possible, even if it's just over video.
You know, I think probably last word would be that, having been a member of numerous different kind of groups and groupings professionally and otherwise, I have to admit that going away, the most heartful, most interesting, most fun people of any group I've ever been a part of is the floaters. It is you guys, all of you in the float industry. I know you all got there probably through passion of some kind. You guys are the best, the most fun. So that's it.
Hey, well, you're part of it, so.
Yeah, right?
I'm honored to be part of it. I think it's super fun.
Well, thanks again so much for joining us, Stephen. This has been great. And it looks like we're like going to seriously make a stab at having this book club going on. So definitely email me over a list of the first 5 books for us to choose one from,
Well, I'll give you the first 5 books today. I'll email them over to you today.
Okay, perfect. That's great. Yeah.
All right.
Excellent.
It was lovely, as always.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Good talking to you, Stephen. I'm excited that you're moving back to Portland.
Yeah, that's super exciting news.
Yeah, I think so. I think it's kind of home to me. I know how I got here, but I think my time is done here. It's time to come home.
That's right. Come on home. Just 1 block away from us. That's where you deserve to be.
All right.
Bye,
Bye,
Stephen.
Okay, Stephen Johnson,
The man,
the legend,
the myth.
also the man, still,
Yeah.
despite all of
Also, Mr. Johnson.
Okay,
That was an episode.
Yeah.
That was an episode. We formed a book club.
Yeah, a lot happened.
Yeah.
We convinced Stephen Johnson to move back here.
Yep. We broke the fourth wall a couple times. So a lot happened. Thanks for joining us, everyone. And yeah, as always, we'll see you next time.
That's right.